On a seemingly ordinary night, Officer John Thompson was patrolling a tranquil stretch of highway where the only sounds were the gentle hum of his cruiser and the distant whisper of the wind rustling through the trees. His shift had been uneventful until his attention was caught by a vehicle behaving most unusually and erratically. The car wove unpredictably across the lanes, its movement clearly out of sync with the normal flow of traffic. Thompson's instincts, honed by years of experience, immediately went on high alert. The vehicle's erratic swerving was enough to trigger Thompson's decision to initiate a stop. He flicked on his siren, its blaring sound slicing through the calm night air, and observed as the car, in response, slowly and cautiously came to a halt on the shoulder of the road. The officer maneuvered his patrol car into position behind the vehicle and approached with measured steps, his hand resting firmly on his holster, a habit formed from countless similar situations. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. As he drew closer, Thompson could make out the figure of the driver through the window. A black man sat in the driver's seat, his posture rigid and his hands placed firmly on the steering wheel, as if in a gesture of surrender. The window was already rolled down, an indication that the driver was likely accustomed to such encounters. This awareness elicited a wave of discomfort in Thompson, a pang of guilt that he tried to shake off. He was all too aware of the statistics showing that black individuals were disproportionately stopped and searched compared to white drivers. In that moment, Thompson questioned whether he was inadvertently perpetuating this disparity. Despite this inner conflict, the law required him to investigate the driver's condition to rule out the possibility of impairment. The driver's skin color, while a factor that weighed on Thompson's conscience, did not alter the officer's fundamental duty. He had seen enough to recognize the necessity of ensuring that the driver was not under the influence of alcohol or drugs, which meant setting aside any personal biases and performing his job with integrity. As Thompson approached the vehicle, he did his best to keep his demeanor neutral and his tone professional. Clearing his throat, he asked, "Can you tell me where you're headed at this hour?" His voice was steady, though his mind was racing with thoughts and questions. The man offered a slight, seemingly genuine smile as he responded. He was coming home from a late-night community event, where he had been engaged in charitable work with local organizations. The event had run longer than anticipated, and he was simply heading home after a productive but tiring meeting. Thompson listened attentively, noting the earnestness in the man's voice. There was a sincerity that made it difficult to leap to any conclusions about wrongdoing. Nevertheless, Thompson's experience told him that appearances could be deceiving. The driver's bloodshot eyes and demure attitude added layers of complexity to the situation. Was this man an honest individual who had merely made a minor mistake in judgment, or was he someone adept at masking his true intentions, attempting to navigate his way out of a legal situation with charm and eloquence? The ambiguity of the encounter left Thompson with a nagging sense of uncertainty. He recognized the need for further investigation to get to the heart of the matter. The situation, which had begun as a straightforward traffic stop, had evolved into a moment fraught with emotional and ethical implications. Thompson knew he had to navigate this delicate balance with care, ensuring that justice and fairness prevailed, even as he grappled with the broader social dynamics at play. This was not just another traffic stop, it was a confrontation with the very essence of his role as a law enforcement officer and the complex realities of race and justice in America. "I understand," Thompson said, his voice steady but laced with a trace of unease. "Could I please see your license and registration?" Without a hint of hesitation, the man reached for the documents and handed them over. Thompson accepted the papers and retreated to his patrol car to run the information through the system. As the minutes ticked by, an unsettling familiarity gnawed at him, a feeling that the man behind the wheel was someone he should recognize. The system beeped, indicating the search results were in. Thompson's eyes widened as he read the profile of Marcus King. The name rang with significance, and the details that followed left him momentarily speechless. Marcus King was no ordinary citizen. He was a pillar of the community, renowned for his tireless philanthropic efforts. Thompson read about Marcus's extensive contributions funding local projects, such as a youth center and a scholarship program for underprivileged students. His impeccable reputation as a benefactor and a role model was well established. A wave of embarrassment surged through Thompson as he realized that he had just pulled over one of the most esteemed figures in the city. His cheeks flushed with red as he recognized the gravity of the mistake. Gathering his composure, Thompson took a deep breath, determined to correct the situation. He approached the vehicle once more and handed the documents back to Marcus. "Mr. King," he began, his voice sincere, "I'm truly sorry for the inconvenience. I didn't realize who you were." Marcus, with a gracious smile, waved off Thompson's apology. "No need to worry," he said. "You're just doing your job." While Thompson felt a small measure of relief, his mind was still racing. He felt a keen sense of curiosity about Marcus's work and how it intersected with the evening's encounter. "You mentioned you were at a community event. Could you tell me more about the work you do?" Marcus leaned back in his seat, his demeanor calm and reflective. He explained that he managed several local charities with a focus on education, community development, and support for families in need. Tonight's meeting had been dedicated to planning an ambitious new project aimed at improving relations between the community and the police force. The very concept struck a deep chord with Thompson, who had been on the verge of treating Marcus as a mere traffic violator. The realization that he had nearly misjudged someone committed to fostering mutual understanding and cooperation was both humbling and thought-provoking. As Thompson absorbed Marcus's words, a flood of memories and stories surged to the surface. He remembered reading about Marcus in the local news, his face often appearing in articles celebrating community events. He recalled hearing about Marcus's remarkable journey during station briefings. Marcus's life story was a testament to resilience and determination. Raised in one of the city's toughest neighborhoods, he had faced hardship and injustice from a young age. His mother had worked multiple jobs to support the family, while his father was largely absent. Despite these daunting challenges, Marcus excelled academically and became driven by an unyielding resolve to transcend his circumstances. Thompson felt a renewed sense of respect for Marcus King, recognizing that his actions had intersected with a man who embodied the spirit of hope and positive change. The encounter, though initially fraught with tension, had become a poignant reminder of the importance of empathy and understanding in every aspect of his role as an officer. As a teenager, Marcus King had been dangerously close to becoming just another statistic, ensnared by the local gang culture that pervaded his tough neighborhood. His life seemed destined for a tragic outcome until a pivotal figure entered the scene. Mr. Johnson, a mentor from a local community center, saw something in Marcus that others had overlooked, a spark of potential hidden beneath the layers of adversity. Mr. Johnson, who ran an after-school program designed to steer kids away from street life, offered Marcus a lifeline. Under Mr. Johnson's mentorship, Marcus found not only a haven but also a newfound passion for learning and a deep desire to make a positive impact. With Mr. Johnson's unwavering support and guidance, Marcus was able to secure a scholarship to a prestigious university, an opportunity that changed the course of his life. He graduated with honors, his academic achievements marking a stark contrast to the bleak path he had once been on. Driven by a profound sense of gratitude and commitment, Marcus returned to his hometown with a singular mission to give back to the community that had shaped him and support others in their quest for a better future. As Officer Thompson processed these reflections, his admiration for Marcus grew immeasurably. Here was a man who had risen from the depths of hardship to become a beacon of hope and change in his community. Yet, alongside this newfound respect, Thompson grappled with a deep internal conflict. He was acutely aware of the historical and ongoing tension between law enforcement and the African American community, tensions characterized by mistrust, fear, and misunderstandings that had persisted for generations. The stark reality of this dynamic had often been reflected in the wary glances, hesitant interactions, and palpable unease he encountered in his line of duty. Marcus's presence at that moment was a poignant reminder of these broader issues. Despite his tireless efforts to bridge divides and foster understanding, he had been subjected to the same scrutiny as any other driver. This realization struck Thompson with a heavy sense of guilt. He recognized that his initial approach had been influenced by unconscious biases, prejudices he had vowed to challenge and overcome. Feeling the weight of his actions, Thompson addressed Marcus with a genuine and remorseful tone. "Mr. King, the first sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you," he said, struggling to balance his professional responsibilities with his reflections. "However, I need to ask, what caused your car to swerve?" Marcus, embodying the same grace and patience that had marked his journey, responded calmly. He explained that exhaustion had taken its toll, and coupled with the weight of pressing responsibilities, had momentarily distracted him while driving. The brief lapse had led to the erratic driving that had prompted the traffic stop. Thompson listened, feeling the gravity of Marcus's explanation. The human side of him struggled to reconcile the strict adherence to procedural protocols with the deeper understanding of Marcus's extraordinary contributions to society. "Mr. King," Thompson continued, his voice imbued with sincerity, "I need to be honest with you. I've been wrestling with the way this situation unfolded. I approached your vehicle with certain assumptions that I now see were misguided, and I'm not proud of that." In that moment, Thompson felt a profound shift, a blend of humility and respect intertwined with the recognition of his imperfections. The encounter not only brought to light Marcus King's remarkable story, but also forced Thompson to confront and reevaluate his perceptions and biases. The dialogue had become a powerful lesson in empathy, reminding him of the essential human element that must always guide his interactions and decisions. Marcus's face softened with understanding as he listened to Thompson's candid admission. "Everyone has biases," Marcus said gently, his voice carrying a note of wisdom. "What truly matters is how we recognize and confront them. Admitting that takes courage, and it's a crucial step towards growth." Marcus's words resonated deeply with Thompson, who felt the weight of his responsibility as a law enforcement officer. "I understand," Thompson replied, his resolve firm. "But I still need to follow up on the erratic driving. I must ensure everyone's safety on the road with that." He proceeded to conduct a field sobriety test, which Marcus passed effortlessly, demonstrating his clear-headedness. As they stood together on the side of the highway, the distant hum of passing vehicles creating a backdrop to their conversation, Thompson couldn't shake the feeling that this moment was transformative. He had come to realize that his role as an officer extended beyond the rigid confines of law enforcement. It was about forging genuine connections and fostering understanding within the community. In an impulsive yet heartfelt gesture, Thompson said, "Mr. King, the first want to help with your project." The words surprised even him. "If there's anything I can do, I'd like to be involved." Thompson's journey to becoming a police officer was anything but conventional. His teenage years were marked by defiance, poor choices, and frequent run-ins with the law. Growing up in a struggling family, Thompson often sought refuge in the thrill of rebellion and the allure of quick, reckless decisions. His parents, though diligent and earnest, were overwhelmed by their circumstances and the relentless challenges of raising a teenager who seemed bent on self-destruction. One fateful summer night when Thompson was just 16, his life took a dramatic turn. What began as a mundane evening spent with friends soon escalated into a pivotal moment that would shape his future. Bored and seeking excitement, the group of teenagers was led by Rye, an older peer with a reckless plan. Earlier that day, Rye had stolen a sleek black sedan, and now he proposed a joyride. Thompson, ever hungry for adventure and adrenaline, eagerly accepted. The group piled into the stolen car, their laughter mingling with the roar of the engine as they sped through the city streets. The thrill of the ride was intoxicating. The wind in their hair, the freedom of the open road, and the rush of adrenaline made them feel invincible. They ignored traffic signals, cut through intersections, and reveled in the reckless abandon of their escapade. The exhilaration was short-lived, however. The police, alerted by the erratic driving and high-speed pursuit, eventually caught up with them. The joyride ended abruptly with sirens wailing and flashing lights, marking the end of an era of youthful irresponsibility for Thompson. In the aftermath, Thompson faced serious consequences. The legal repercussions, coupled with the profound realization of the dangers he had put himself and others in, were sobering. The experience became a turning point, a catalyst for change. Thompson's reflection on that night, combined with the unwavering support of his family, led him to reevaluate his choices. He began to channel his energies into more constructive paths, eventually deciding to dedicate his life to law enforcement. Standing beside Marcus King, Thompson was acutely aware of the irony. His past mistakes and the lessons learned had brought him to this moment of connection and potential redemption. The chance to assist Marcus with his community project represented not just an opportunity for professional growth, but also a personal chance to make amends and contribute positively to the community he had once struggled against. As Marcus's kindness and commitment shone through, Thompson felt a deep sense of gratitude and resolve. The night's events illuminated a path forward, one where understanding and collaboration could bridge divides and foster a more cohesive, empathetic society. On a quiet stretch of highway, Officer John Thompson was patrolling the late-night roads when he spotted a vehicle swerving erratically. The car's unpredictable movements caught his trained eye, and his instincts compelled him to act. Flipping on his siren, Thompson watched as the vehicle gradually pulled over to the roadside. With the patrol car parked behind it, he approached the car with a sense of professional purpose. As he neared, Thompson's hand rested on his holster, ready for any unexpected developments. Peering through the window, he saw that the driver was a black man. The driver's hands were raised on the steering wheel, and the window was already rolled down, suggesting he was all too familiar with the procedure of being pulled over. This sight stirred a pang of unease in Thompson. He was acutely aware of the statistics showing that black individuals were disproportionately stopped and searched compared to their white counterparts. The realization that he might be perpetuating this troubling trend made him feel conflicted. Yet the erratic driving had warranted a stop, and Thompson was resolute in his duty to ensure that the driver was not under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Despite this, Thompson couldn't shake the growing discomfort within him. Was he being fair and objective, or was his perception clouded by racial biases? There was an unsettling ambiguity about the situation that made him question his motivations. As he reached the driver's side window, he cleared his throat and attempted to maintain a neutral tone. "Can I ask where you're headed at this hour?" Thompson inquired, striving to keep the interaction as straightforward as possible. The man responded with a slight smile, explaining that he had just come from a community event. He worked with several local charities and had been at a late meeting. Thompson listened carefully. The sincerity in the man's voice and his calm demeanor made it hard to suspect any nefarious intentions. Yet the bloodshot eyes and subdued manner raised questions. Was this man simply an honest citizen who had made a minor mistake in his driving, or was he attempting to charm his way out of a more serious issue? Thompson knew he had to dig deeper to get a clearer picture. The ambiguity of the man's situation left him feeling both professionally obligated and personally unsettled. He needed to ensure that the driver's erratic behavior was indeed an isolated incident rather than a sign of something more serious. As he continued his investigation, Thompson wrestled with his internal conflict, trying to balance his duty with his growing awareness of the broader implications of his actions. "I see," Thompson responded, his voice steady as he accepted the driver's license and registration handed over without hesitation. He took the documents and retreated to his patrol car, his mind buzzing with a mix of curiosity and unease. As he input the information into the system, he couldn't shake the nagging feeling that he had seen this man before. The system whirred and beeped, delivering the profile of Marcus King. The name and details that appeared on the screen left Thompson momentarily stunned, his breath catching in his throat. Marcus King was not just any individual, he was a well-known and revered figure in the community. His name was synonymous with philanthropy and benevolence. He had spearheaded numerous local initiatives, including the funding of a youth center and a scholarship program designed to uplift underprivileged students. His reputation for integrity and dedication was impeccable, etched into the fabric of the community he so selflessly served. Realizing that he had just pulled over one of the city's most esteemed and influential figures filled Thompson with a deep, uncomfortable embarrassment. He took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing heart, and regained his composure before returning to the vehicle. His mind raced through the implications of the encounter. With a sense of both relief and anxiety, he approached the car again and handed back the documents. "Mr. King," he said, his voice laced with genuine contrition, "I apologize for any inconvenience caused. I didn't realize who you were." Marcus responded with a gesture of understanding, a casual wave of his hand that dismissed the situation as a routine part of Thompson's job. Despite this, the officer felt a lingering sense of unease and confusion. His professional instincts clashed with a newfound respect and admiration for the man before him. "You mentioned you were at a community event," Thompson said, trying to bridge the gap between duty and respect. "Could you tell me more about the work you do?" Marcus leaned back in his seat, his demeanor relaxed yet earnest. He explained that he managed several local charities, each dedicated to crucial causes like education, community development, and providing essential support to families facing hardship. Tonight's meeting was focused on their next major initiative, a project aimed at enhancing relations between the community and the police force. Thompson was struck by Marcus's dedication to fostering understanding and collaboration, especially given his current predicament. Here was a man who devoted his life to mending societal rifts and building bridges, and Thompson had nearly treated him as a mere suspect. The realization was a profound and humbling moment for the officer, forcing him to confront his own biases and assumptions. As Thompson reflected on this encounter, a torrent of memories surfaced. He recalled reading about Marcus in the local news, his face appearing in articles about charitable events and community achievements. He had even heard about Marcus's remarkable journey during briefings at the station. Marcus's life story was one of extraordinary resilience. Raised in one of the city's most impoverished and troubled neighborhoods, Marcus had been no stranger to hardship and injustice from a young age. His mother juggled multiple jobs to provide for their family, while his father was largely absent. Despite these overwhelming challenges, Marcus excelled academically, driven by an unyielding determination to transcend his circumstances and make a positive impact. This encounter had become a mirror reflecting not only Marcus's extraordinary journey but also Thompson's journey of understanding and self-awareness. The officer was left grappling with the deeper implications of his role in shaping the relationship between law enforcement and the community he served. As a teenager, Marcus had been drawn into the local gang culture, teetering on the brink of becoming another statistic. His life seemed destined for a path of hardship and lost potential. However, a beacon of hope emerged in the form of Mr. Johnson, a mentor who ran an after-school program designed to steer at-risk youth away from the streets. Mr. Johnson recognized Marcus's latent potential and provided him with the guidance and support he desperately needed. Under his mentorship, Marcus discovered a newfound passion for learning and helping others. With Mr. Johnson's encouragement, he earned a scholarship to a prestigious university, graduated with honors, and returned to his hometown with a singular mission to give back to the community that had shaped him. As these pieces of Marcus's story began to coalesce in Officer Thompson's mind, a profound sense of awe and respect for the man sitting in the car filled him. Yet, alongside this admiration, an internal conflict brewed. Thompson was acutely aware of the historical and ongoing tension between law enforcement and the African American community. The strained relationship, marked by distrust and fear on both sides, was a reality he had witnessed throughout his career. He had seen the quick, cautious glances, the hesitation to engage, and the pervasive tension that colored interactions between the community and the police. Marcus's presence was a stark reminder of these issues. Here was a man who had devoted his life to bridging gaps and fostering understanding, yet he found himself subjected to the same scrutiny and suspicion as anyone else. Thompson felt a pang of guilt, a recognition that he had approached the situation with preconceived notions influenced by the very biases he had pledged to overcome. Despite this, he had acted with the intent to protect and serve his community. "Mr. King," Thompson began, his voice tinged with sincerity, "I'm genuinely sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused you, but I need to ask, why was your car swerving?" Marcus, understanding the concern behind the question, explained that he had been exhausted and preoccupied with the pressures of his work. The distraction, however brief, had caused his vehicle to swerve. Thompson absorbed Marcus's explanation, the gravity of his earlier assumptions weighing heavily on him. He realized that, while the procedures and protocols he followed were essential for public safety, they sometimes failed to account for the complexities and human experiences behind each situation. The pressure to adhere to his training was immense, but the human side of him recognized the significance of Marcus's contributions and the broader implications of this encounter. Standing on the side of the highway, the hum of passing cars creating a backdrop of modernity against their timeless conversation, Thompson felt this moment was pivotal. His role as an officer was not solely about enforcing laws, but also about understanding and connecting with the community. The realization that Marcus King, a man dedicated to fostering community relations, was on the receiving end of scrutiny forced Thompson to confront his own biases and assumptions. In an unexpected turn of events, Thompson voiced a desire to support Marcus's efforts. "Mr. King," he said, his tone earnest, "I want to be involved in your project. If there's any way I can contribute, please let me know." The offer surprised both men. For Thompson, it was a step towards reconciling his professional responsibilities with a deeper, more empathetic understanding of the community he served. For Marcus, it was an unexpected gesture of support from someone within the very institution he worked to bridge. This encounter was more than just a traffic stop. It was a moment of reflection and potential change. It highlighted the complexities of human interactions, the importance of acknowledging biases, and the power of individuals working together to overcome them. In that quiet, liminal space by the side of the highway, two lives intersected, each leaving an indelible mark on the other. The chaos of the crash left John Thompson and his friends in a daze, their adrenaline still surging as they stumbled from the wrecked car. The police were quick to surround them, their flashing lights casting an eerie glow on the scene. John felt a deep sense of dread as the officers approached, their stern faces reflecting the gravity of their situation. John and his friends were arrested on the spot. The stolen car was impounded, and they were taken to the station for processing. The reality of their choices sank in as they faced the consequences of their reckless behavior. The experience was a turning point for John. As he sat in the holding cell, he began to reflect on the path he was on and the future he was risking. The adrenaline that had once been so exhilarating now seemed hollow and destructive. John's arrest was a wake-up call. He realized that the thrill of rebellion and the allure of quick excitement came with steep costs. His parents, devastated by the situation, tried to support him through the legal process, but their efforts felt overshadowed by John's growing sense of regret. The experience left John with a profound understanding of how far he had strayed from the right path and how much he had to lose. During his time in juvenile detention, John had a lot of time to think about his future. It was there that he encountered programs aimed at rehabilitating young offenders. These programs, along with the support of a compassionate counselor, helped John see the potential for change within himself. He began to work hard to turn his life around, participating in educational programs and focusing on self-improvement. He also received support from a mentor who saw the potential in him and encouraged him to pursue a career in law enforcement. John's journey from troubled youth to a police officer was not easy. He had to confront his past mistakes, work hard to redeem himself, and rebuild trust with those around him. His past experiences shaped his understanding of the challenges faced by individuals like Marcus King, who had overcome their struggles and dedicated themselves to improving their communities. As Officer Thompson stood on the side of the highway with Marcus King, he saw an opportunity for redemption and connection. His past mistakes had given him insight into the complexities of human behavior and the importance of second chances. He wanted to be part of Marcus's mission to bridge gaps and build understanding between the community and the police. "Mr. King," Thompson said with renewed conviction, "I want to help with your project. If there's anything I can do, I'd like to be involved." His offer was genuine, a way to give back and contribute to the positive change he had once sought for himself. Marcus's eyes widened in surprise, but a smile slowly spread across his face. He could see the sincerity in Thompson's offer and the potential for collaboration. "Thank you, Officer Thompson," Marcus replied. "Your support means a lot. Together we can work towards fostering the kind of understanding and unity that our community needs." As they exchanged contact information and discussed potential ways to collaborate, Thompson felt a sense of hope and purpose. The encounter had been more than just a routine traffic stop. It was a chance for both men to confront their biases, learn from each other, and work towards a common goal. In that pivotal moment, on the quiet highway with the hum of passing cars in the background, Thompson and Marcus embarked on a new chapter of their lives. Their shared commitment to building bridges and fostering understanding marked the beginning of a meaningful partnership, one that would resonate throughout their community and beyond. John's transformation was profound. As he navigated the police academy in his early years as an officer, he was driven by a personal mission to prevent others from walking the path he once did. He channeled his experiences and the lessons learned from Officer Moore into his daily work, striving to be a role model and a source of support for the community he served. His background gave him a unique perspective on the struggles faced by many in his neighborhood. He understood firsthand the allure of crime and the feeling of being trapped by circumstances. This empathy allowed him to connect with individuals who might otherwise feel alienated or distrusted by law enforcement. John's approach was rooted in understanding and support, seeking to build relationships rather than impose authority. The neighborhood where John was assigned was a reflection of the environment he had once known. The challenges were familiar economic hardship, limited opportunities, and a deep-seated mistrust of the police. Yet John approached these challenges with a resolve to make a difference. He engaged with local youth programs, mentored at-risk teenagers, and worked to address community concerns with sensitivity and respect. Through his efforts, John earned the respect and admiration of those around him. His dedication to improving the relationship between the police and the community was evident in his interactions and initiatives. He helped to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the people he was sworn to protect, using his own story as a testament to the possibility of change and redemption. Despite the progress, John never forgot the pain and shame of his past. The encounter with Marcus King, a respected community leader, was a moment of self-reflection and growth. As he looked back on his journey, he saw the importance of confronting biases and working towards a more inclusive and understanding society. The incident was a reminder of the ongoing need to address systemic issues and to approach every situation with empathy and integrity. As John continued his career, he became an advocate for initiatives that aimed to reform policing practices and improve community relations. He collaborated with organizations like Marcus King's Charities to promote positive change and support for underserved communities. The partnership between John and Marcus was a powerful symbol of how individuals from different backgrounds could come together to create meaningful impact. John's path was not without challenges, but his commitment to change and his belief in second chances guided him. His story became an inspiring example of how one's past does not define their future, and how redemption and transformation are possible with determination and support. In the end, John Thompson's journey from a troubled youth to a dedicated officer was a testament to the power of mentorship, the importance of confronting biases, and the impact of compassionate leadership. His story highlighted the potential for individuals to rise above their circumstances and contribute positively to their communities, embodying the spirit of hope and resilience. The excitement and anticipation surrounding the Community Unity Initiative were palpable. The town hall meeting was set to be a pivotal event, and the community rallied behind the effort. As the day approached, Thompson and Marcus put in long hours to ensure every detail was meticulously planned. They organized panels featuring respected community figures, including educators, business owners, and activists, who would speak about their experiences and insights. The night before the event, Thompson and Marcus met one last time to finalize the arrangements. They reviewed the agenda, coordinated logistics, and discussed strategies to facilitate constructive dialogue. Despite their extensive preparations, they both felt a mix of nervousness and optimism. The stakes were high, but their commitment to the cause was unwavering. On the day of the town hall meeting, the venue was bustling with activity. The room was filled with a diverse crowd: residents, local leaders, police officers, and media representatives. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, and the energy was both hopeful and tense. Thompson and Marcus greeted attendees as they arrived, their excitement evident as they saw the turnout. The meeting kicked off with opening remarks from Marcus, who shared his vision for the Community Unity Initiative and emphasized the importance of honest communication. Thompson took the stage next, acknowledging the challenges law enforcement faced and expressing his commitment to understanding and addressing community concerns. As the discussions began, Thompson noticed a shift in the room. People were engaged and vocal, sharing their experiences and asking questions. Officers and community members participated in breakout sessions, discussing issues such as police practices, community safety, and mutual respect. The conversations were sometimes heated but ultimately constructive, as both sides listened and learned from each other. One particularly impactful moment came during a breakout session where a young resident shared his personal story of a negative encounter with the police. The story was met with empathy from officers, who responded with a heartfelt commitment to do better. The dialogue was a powerful reminder of the importance of perspective and the need for continuous improvement. As the evening drew to a close, Thompson and Marcus reflected on the progress made. The town hall meeting sparked meaningful conversations and laid the foundation for ongoing collaboration. Community members expressed their appreciation for the opportunity to engage with law enforcement, and officers left with a renewed sense of purpose and understanding. The success of the town hall meeting was just the beginning. Thompson and Marcus continued to build on the momentum, organizing additional events and workshops as part of the Community Unity Initiative. They worked together to address specific issues raised during the meetings and develop programs aimed at fostering positive interactions between police officers and residents. The initiative began to show tangible results. Relationships between law enforcement and the community improved, and trust was gradually rebuilt. Thompson felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that his efforts were making a real difference. He had found a meaningful way to apply the lessons he had learned from Officer Moore and his own experiences, contributing to a more inclusive and understanding community. Marcus King, too, saw the impact of his vision coming to fruition. The Community Unity Initiative was a testament to the power of collaboration and the importance of bridging divides. The partnership between Marcus and Thompson became a model for other communities striving to address similar challenges. Their journey together was a reminder that change is possible when individuals come together with a shared purpose. Through their efforts, Thompson and Marcus demonstrated that understanding, empathy, and collaboration could overcome even the deepest divides, fostering a more united and compassionate community. The community center buzzed with energy as the event unfolded. Reverend Jackson's prayer set a tone of unity and hope, a fitting prelude to the discussions that would follow. Marcus King, with his characteristic warmth and clarity, took the stage to share his journey. He spoke of his humble beginnings, the mentors who guided him, and his vision for the Community Unity Initiative. His words resonated deeply with the audience, highlighting the importance of breaking down barriers and fostering mutual understanding. John Thompson, following Marcus, spoke from the heart. He shared his journey, acknowledging the mistakes of the past and the growth he had undergone as an officer. His honesty and commitment to change struck a chord with many in the room. By inviting the community to collaborate in creating a better future, he offered a bridge between law enforcement and residents that had long been missing. As the months rolled on, the fruits of their labor began to show. The neighborhood, once marked by mistrust and division, started to change. Residents who had previously avoided police officers now approached them with friendly nods and smiles. Officers, in turn, engaged with the community in new and meaningful ways. The workshops and town hall meetings became platforms for dialogue and understanding, gradually closing the gap that had once seemed insurmountable. The transformation was visible and tangible. The once tense interactions between law enforcement and residents gave way to conversations marked by respect and collaboration. Community events became regular occasions for people to come together, share their experiences, and work towards common goals. At one of these events, Marcus and Thompson stood together, observing the vibrant and harmonious atmosphere they had worked so hard to create. Marcus turned to John, a satisfied smile on his face. "This is just the beginning. There's so much more we can do." Thompson nodded in agreement, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Absolutely. The journey has been challenging, but seeing the change and the connections we've fostered makes it all worthwhile." The evening wrapped up with a feeling of accomplishment and optimism. The work they had done was already making a significant impact, and the path forward looked promising. Marcus and Thompson knew that while their efforts had laid a strong foundation, there was still much work to be done. As they prepared to leave, Thompson looked around at the smiling faces and the sense of community that had blossomed. The trust and cooperation that had developed were a testament to the power of genuine dialogue and shared purpose. For now, they were content with the progress made, but they knew the journey was far from over. The partnership between Marcus and Thompson had proven that change was possible through dedication, empathy, and collaboration. Wow, what an incredible journey we've taken together today. From a routine traffic stop to an eye-opening story of community and change, we've explored the power of understanding and redemption. Officer Thompson and Marcus King showed us that true progress starts with honest conversations and a willingness to bridge gaps. As we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned from this story? How will you apply these lessons in your own life? Share one thing you've learned and plan to put into practice in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and found it inspiring, please leave your comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more engaging content. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep bringing you meaningful stories and discussions. See you in the next video.